Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here. It's Tuesday. That means it's 90 Day Fiance Day. I've got my girl Kimberly here from A Date with Dateline, and we are going to talk about the officiant. The officiant, which I don't think is what it's called, Kimberly.
Officiant?
Officiant, but they were saying officiant.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got to get
I'm
that
surprised.
officiant. No.
These people think Muslims celebrate Yom Kippur. I'm just lumping Clayton's family and Sam's family together.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that was one thing I noticed this week. And another thing I noticed was that Nikki, in regards to Justin, she calls him Igor when she's mad at him, like a mom
Totally.
and a kid. And she also, when he has a fit, she says it's a mantram, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And with Manuel and Ashley, when she gets mad at him, she says he's having a bitch fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm
Lots of,
learning new terms.
yeah, I love it.
New terms. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna don't have a mantram.
And Rob the Knob. This season is just full of women hating their men.
You're right.
And I love it. I'm here for it.
You're exactly right. Oh, that's a great point. That all the titles should have been something like man-hating lyrics. Like we've got so many. We've got Billie Eilish. We've got Alanis
Yes.
Morissette, Adele. Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
so many great man-hating songs we could have used as song titles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Because nobody's loving and cherishing, which is the title. And
No
that's
one's loving
not
and cherishing.
applicable at all.
Well, let's get started on these people. Now, I'm recording with a new thing, guys. It's called StreamYard because I used to post with Zencastr. So I'm trying to get my thing so it's like the whole screen, Kimberly. You know what I mean?
On the
Okay.
bottom right, do you have that
Yeah.
thing where you make it big?
Make it bigger. Yeah,
Maybe
there
not.
it goes.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's a really big picture of my own face.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'll change that back to small. I don't need to. I like to just look at you. I don't like to look at myself because then I get distracted. Like,
I
oh, my
know.
hair, and
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to move my notes over on top of my own face here. All right, let's get started on this. And if you're hearing this, this means I've gone and come back from New York already. Because I'm doing less than 24 hours in New York City.
You're so cool. You're such a jet setter.
Am I cool or am I completely out of my mind?
Both.
Yeah, that. And then I realized my husband's not even getting home from his business trip until like 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And I'm going to be leaving at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, who will take care of our dogs? Don't worry. We got it all sorted out. Okay, 90 Day Fiance, Season 10, Episode 14, From This Day Forward. Okay, it's just terrible titles.
Oh, is that what it was called? I wrote down To Love and Cherish. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong notes.
I think Love and Cherish was last week.
Then I'm totally looking at the wrong notes.
Yeah, To Love and to Cherish From This Day Forward. That was last week.
No problem. I'll get the correct ones up.
That was episode 13. This is episode 14. Okay.
Okay.
Let's start with Sophie and Robert. It's 20 days to wed. And we open with Sophie and her mom. Why can't I remember her mother's name?
I think she's Molly.
But that's not her name.
With no, she's like Molly.
Yes, she reminds us of Molly. Yes.
She has a Molly sort of thing, but something's gone wrong.
Yeah, something. Yeah. And I think also when you fly internationally and you maybe have just had some work done, it's not great.
Yeah.
For what's happening. I'm just guessing. She also has an underbite. And sometimes an underbite will affect the way you talk and stuff. So Sophie and her mom are in the car and mom says, Rob will make you think you're losing your mind. Like you'll start to think maybe I am wrong. And he's going to make you psycho.
Just say gaslighter. We all know what it means.
Right. I was wondering why she wasn't saying gaslighter.
Maybe she doesn't know that term.
Maybe she doesn't. I mean, it's so overused. So I was glad that she actually explained it. She said, I guarantee if you marry him, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose your sparkle and your voice. So they go into this restaurant and mom says, well, Soph, what are you going to do? And she goes, well, just for tonight, I'm going to go stay with you. I'm excited to go to a nice hotel. I'm going to give him time to think about, his actions and see if he'll say he's sorry.
Is
As
there
they're sitting there,
an
he
indoor
sends
toilet?
an indoor toilet at the hotel. That's all she asked for. She didn't care. She's like,
Is there a duvet?
give me a Holiday Inn Express. I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah. So he sends her a text with a photo of a nice car and says, this can be ours one day.
What the heck?
That's what she says. She's like, what the heck is he thinking? It's like nothing happened. He's sending me photos of what could happen one day. Like, it makes no sense.
Because this was part of their story at the beginning, was they both wanted to be like influencers and make it big. And remember, he said before they have kids and move to a farm, they're gonna like make millions and make gold in the air and just like blow up
Yeah.
the world and
Uh-huh.
become like Kanye and Kim or something.
Or Kanye and Bianca, whichever.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they haven't done that. And so, um, although I do love to look at pictures of her on Instagram because she is so pretty.
Yeah.
So he says, this can be ours. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she goes, he doesn't admit when he's wrong. And that's really a problem. Like, I don't know if I want to be married to somebody who can never see that they did anything wrong. And mom says, what's the percentage that you stay with him? And she goes, 50-50. Her number's a little higher than him. Later, he gives it a 4 out of 10. So he's at 40%. She's at 50%. It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
She is 70% good. I am 40% attracted to her.
77% attracted to her. So they go to the hotel, and mom says, what do you think Rob's doing right now? And he's probably just wallowing in self-pity because he just feels so bad about himself. He make you feel bad. And she goes, well, I think it's good for us to have this time apart. I'm not going to message. I'm not going to send him any messages. Mom's like, stay strong. Fuck that guy. We hate him.
Then stop talking about him. Give
Right.
your daughter a night off to just enjoy LA and like relax with your mom.
I agree. And her talking head, she goes, I really am starting to have doubts that this wedding's even going to happen. I hope the sister didn't do a lot of work on it, though, because that's not fair to the sister.
Oh, yeah. I liked the sister.
We need more of sister. We only saw her that one time.
Good. Like a solid person who doesn't deserve to be on 90 Day.
Right. So now Rob goes to the laundromat because, even though they had a big fight, chores still got to get done, Kimberly.
I'm just a working man out here getting the job done. And y'all didn't understand because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and had indoor washer and dryers. And I come from the streets and I got to do it all for myself. So I got to put coins in this machine, yo. I can't with him. Also, he's having like bro time. Let's meet at the laundromat for bro time. Well, I use a laundromat, so I am in no way better than Rob.
Yeah.
I also don't have a washer and dryer and go to the laundromat. I've never seen anybody doing like bro hangout time at the laundromat.
Do you have any fun laundromats there where like people can there's like a bar or people socialize? Because I've seen those before and that seems fun.
Oh, like karaoke or something? I've never seen that.
Yeah, because you could do like 2 things at once. So you're not just sitting there looking at your phone.
That's a great idea. No, we don't have any of those here. Or I just haven't seen them.
All right. Well, you live in LA, so it seems like you guys have everything there.
I know. Well, I live in the valley.
Oh, okay. So Ty and Tori, who is so good looking.
Man, is he good looking?
So good. No shade to Ty. Ty is also cute, but Tori is the best looking of the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all good looking.
Yeah, they are. I wonder if they all met being models. Yeah. And they chat with him about the big day coming up, and he's like, I'm nervous, man. And they're like, good or bad? And he says, bad nervous. Things aren't smooth, and it's getting down to the wire. Like, we're 3 weeks away, and her mom's in town. Mom has had every opinion under the book. Huh?
What?
Huh?
In the book, under the sun.
Right. Under the book. Mom's got the opinions that you find when you lift the book up, and the opinions are under that book.
That makes sense.
All right. And he says, it was like them. It was like 2 against 1. And I was like, fuck that. And Tori goes, that sounds about right. That sounds like you. Probably you didn't take that well.
Why are they friends with him?
I don't know, to make fun of him. And he's like, I just wish that Sophie would have my back. Like, she wouldn't have my back, and her mom was all on me and everything. It's all about like what I don't have and what I don't do and what I don't provide and what I will have one day and what I don't have right now. And Ty says, man, on a 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And Rob goes, like, with 10 being like, I'm getting married, and 1 being like, no way. Like, it's a 4. So they're like, it's been 3 years. You're just going to like throw it away like this because of like, you're not getting along right now. And he goes, well, these are new situations we've been in. We've never had to live together like this and like real life. And like,
In
now
my
I'm getting to
hovel.
see. And you what? In my hovel?
In my hovel.
In my hovel. She only had to live in my hovel for a couple days at a time before we jetted off to a Mexican vacation.
Yeah.
Now this is rough. And he says, these are new situations we're in. It's not cool. And they talk outside to Ty and Tori, and Ty says, I don't see this happening. I don't see him getting married. And Tori says, I do see it happening. I see it happening, but Rob's going to be miserable. It's like,
I
great.
love that these are truth tellers.
Uh-huh.
And you could say this about every season, every couple. You think they're not going to get married, but then deep down, you know they are going to get married, but they're going to hate it. And then they're going to be unhappily ever after, and they're going to hate each other. And you
Then
can't
they have
stop
to go to
time.
then they have to go to the last resort and get counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. That's how it goes. It goes
Mm-hmm.
it goes before the 90 days, happily ever after,
Mm-hmm.
last resort, single life. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's flip on over to Justigor, which is the funniest thing you've ever said.
I
And
do think it's that funny.
I just think it's hilarious.
It makes me feel bad that you think that's the funniest thing I've ever said. So they're fighting again, and honestly, at this point, like I can never keep track of what they're fighting about. Like, is this
Right.
a threesome thing? Is this a thing with the mom? What is it about? So
Mhm.
I think it's still the threesome thing, and are they going to have this engagement party? And and then he said something that I rewound 5 times to understand. Still don't totally understand. She's very jealous, so we turn all the mirrors around because if I watch myself walk in the mirror, she kills me.
Yeah.
So he's
What did
making a joke
he
that
laughed at he laughed at that funny
that
joke.
she's so jealous, she would be jealous that he was looking at himself in the mirror because he's not looking at her. Is that what she's saying?
I thought it was more of like a Medusa. Like if he looked at her, he would turn to stone, or do you know what I mean? I thought it was more of
Oh,
a
interesting.
Greek myth thing, although I don't think he's that bright. So I'm obviously not
No,
bright enough to get
I
it.
don't think he's that bright. Yeah. Uh-uh.
Um, okay, so we don't know the answer.
No, but he it was a joke.
Yeah,
And he says to her, he's like yelling at her in the car, and he's talking to her like she's a dog because he had heard from his friend Igor he has to be the masculine one in the relationship and show his masculine side. So to him that means barking orders at her, and he's like, "Learn how to be in a healthy relationship. Learn. Be here. Don't think about only yourself. Focus it." Focus it on us. And like she's like, why are you yelling at me? And I think he's trying to neg her and like break her down.
yeah,
And he just needs to find a woman that is already submissive because this
right,
is not working. And
right.
also he's making it like an issue, like she's not a traditional Moldovan woman, she doesn't do traditional things like cook and clean. The real issue is that she's trans and you can't get over it, and you
Right.
need to just tell her that. And you're just using all this as an excuse. They're exhausting. So they go to ride horses, they decide they're going to enjoy the day. They went horseback riding 15 years ago. He makes a joke about the horse having a nice ass. He's still trying to be funny. The horse lady says horseback riding is therapeutic and good for couples. And I was like, you haven't met this couple.
Mm-mm.
It's
You know,
not gonna work.
it's hard to be cute and sexy when you're wearing a hairnet. I'm gonna be honest. It
Yeah.
really is.
No,
Yeah.
it's true. Also, Nikki's pants are so tight that it just looks painful to sit on a horse.
I know. Would you imagine she's trying to like do the thing where you're the cantering and you're like
Yeah.
standing up and down, that it would
No,
be
their
like
pants are
her
gonna
pants
rip,
would, yeah, they're gonna fall or something. Yeah.
chafing. I just feel like it would be
Yeah.
very uncomfortable.
Chafing for sure.
So they appear to ride for about 2 minutes. They literally reenact the picture and do like one circle around the little lap and then they're done.
Yeah.
But editing, they could have been longer. And she says, I'm leaving in a couple days. This is our last trip before the K1 visa is approved. So we have to decide, are we doing it? Are you coming to America? And remember, she's already done it for him 15 years before. So she can't do it a third time.
Right.
So this is it. They really have to decide. And he's being very sweet with her and like, I love you and do you love me? And I was like, just tell her, you freaking asshole. Tell her what you told us, that your body's not in love with her. It's
Yeah.
just so cruel at this point. And she falls for it. And she's like, oh, he's being so sweet. Let's do the engagement party the next day. You know, I don't want to give up. I really think he's my soulmate. He's not. He's
Mm-mm.
not. And then she says, I don't think I could do better than him. And that made me very sad.
That
Um,
made me sad too.
and I do think, remember when she said I couldn't find someone as handsome as him?
Hmm.
Like, I think that's part of it. And it's a lot of it's about looks. And I think she absolutely could find someone who loves her as she is completely, every part of her.
Yeah.
He might not be as good looking, but it would be real love. And that would be better than
Yeah.
this
Yeah. I
handsome
agree.
playboy guy who doesn't totally love you or accept you.
No,
It's
he
sad.
wants to have sex with his friends.
He does. No.
I have sex friends. What's the big deal?
Yeah. No. So we're done with them. It was exhausting.
He did have a mantrum, and then he was being so mean. He was in the car when he was like, "Learn how to cook, learn how to clean." I took out the trash. She was like, "Well, if you were staying at my house, I would be doing all those things because I'm a guest." He's
Why
like,
are
"You
you
should be doing
fighting
these things." It was
about
weird.
chores? They're fighting about chores.
It was weird.
Just get to the root of the issue. We all know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why he just.
He can't say it. He's not man enough to just say it.
Or is he waiting for her to leave Moldova and then he's going to tell? I think that we saw a preview that she's like, he broke up with me on text.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just,
Or he's trying to push her to break up with him so he's
yeah.
not the bad guy.
Uh
He's
huh.
doing one of those things.
Yeah. We call that the 10th grade boy.
Mhm.
The 10th grade boy will be mean to you, so you break up with them.
Yep.
All right. Citra and Sam. It's 8 days to wed. I mean, I think
Wow.
she's been there 3 days. So
Yeah.
it's 8 days to wed.
She's only pooped twice.
Yeah. I mean, the bidet's gotten not a lot of use for what they paid for it.
Mhm.
So Citra asked the dad, they're in the car. He's like, she's like, what do you want to do while you're here in America? He goes, well, I want to ride a horse up a mountain. She's like, well, there's no mountains here in Missouri. But they were like, then they go into this whole Chuck Norris thing. And I was like, these are your touchstones is Chuck Norris and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah. They mentioned Ryan Gosling more than once. So again, they walk in through the garage, which is Sam's room. They walk up the ramp of the garage into Sam's room. Why don't they just go in the front door and be like, here's our home. And then later I can show you where I'm sleeping. Do you know what
Oh,
I mean?
that's weird.
Yeah. Like go in the front door and be like, welcome to
Yeah.
my home. Don't go in through the garage. That's weird.
That is weird.
I didn't like it. So she shows, this is where I've been sleeping. And obviously he's sleeping in his brother's room. Nothing going on here. Nothing to see.
Yeah.
Nobody was drunk last night. Nothing to see. Nobody played some risque
Sexy
pool.
pool. Cute
Nothing.
going in and out. I didn't eat any pork nachos. Nothing
Nope.
happened.
Nothing happened. I'm just in this room praying. That's
Mhm.
it. So Dad Brian and Dad Herman meet, and Nanda and Nafa are also there, the sisters. They eat some food. It looks like he got, he went to the store and got some stuff he could just pop in the oven. Looks like fried chicken, potatoes, mac and cheese. I don't see any vegetables. And they're like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then the dad says, does Sam eat potatoes every day?
Yeah. It's all brown food,
Yeah.
which is delicious. But you know how they eat. You know how she likes to eat. You know how the family eats. You've
Yes.
been to where they live.
Yeah.
There
Not
are
me, not
other
me, but Sam. Sam has.
Sam, yes.
Yes.
So were other options.
Yeah. It was, they're into like spicy vegetables, but they do eat the fried chicken. So they aren't vegetarians.
No, they were picking at it.
They were not happy. They were like, you're going to have to eat more than that. And they're like,
Mhm.
everyone's looking at the food like, what is this disgusting American food? So they
They
chat.
need to hook up with Piggy and Piggy's family.
Oh, God. They would really not like the food over there. It's
Mm-mm.
just deep fried all day, every day. So they chat and they say, like, yeah, it was, it's hard. You don't realize how far it is until you fly, and the flight takes 30 hours and everything's different here. Like the foods are different. In Indonesia, they have more vegetables and more flavors. Here, the food is really bland, really bland.
I thought that was kind of rude. I mean, we get on all the Americans who go to other countries
Yeah.
and make faces about the food and say that it's not
Yeah.
good. So I
Yeah.
feel like we should say the same thing about them.
Yeah. You're in somebody's house.
You're in somebody's
Okay.
home and they've gotten you food. Like,
Yeah.
pretend to like it.
Yeah. Put it on your plate. If they're not looking, just kind of stir it around a little
Yeah.
bit, you know. So they talk about the vegetables and how the food is so much better in Indonesia, whatever. And dad, Brian, says he's becoming happier about them getting married. So basically, he wasn't happy before. I was like, are you kidding me? Citra's a catch. What do you
Mhm.
mean? And he explains that in the past, Sam has not been responsible. And he feels like he's becoming more responsible in the past year since he's been with Citra. So I guess that's what he was trying to say initially. Like, I was against it until I realized, like, maybe she's actually going to make him grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he says, I have 5 kids and 4 grew up to be responsible. And then there's Sam.
Oh my God.
It was not nice.
That was not nice.
He says, Sam at 30, well, maybe now it's finally happening. And he's saying that to Citra's dad. Not good. Not good. I hope she didn't translate that correctly. And the talking head Sam's like, yeah, way to go. My dad's just throwing me under the bus. Like, what's going on here? Like, you're only
He
supposed to
meant
tell the
it
good things.
as a compliment,
Yeah.
but it didn't come out that way at all.
I think maybe his translation lenses hadn't turned the right color yet and he
Yeah.
couldn't see. Well,
Also, is the other brother like so great and responsible? How old is he? And he lives in the house, right?
right. He lives in what appears to be a toddler bed.
Right.
So how great is that guy?
Yeah. And when are we going to see the meetup of the sister and the brother?
I know. I kept wondering. I think the brother's name was like Tom or Scott. They've all got just very
Yeah.
Sam, Brian. They all have very basic names.
Yeah. I want
Um,
to see if sparks fly.
yeah, I know. We'll just be able to see it right there on camera. Because the one sister looks like she's had a real rough 30 hours on that airplane.
I
She
think she's
is.
this actual zombie. Like, I
She's
think
just like,
she got bitten and she's like in that stage before you turn, where you just kind of grumble a lot. And you're,
oh, that's hilarious. So they start talking about legalizing marijuana. Is marijuana legal in Indonesia like it is
how did
where they
that
are?
come up?
I don't know. It just sort of got brought up. Are you guys are you down with the doobie there in
Right.
Indonesia? That's what Brian wanted to know. You want to go spark it up
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
back. Brian wanted to know, are you
We can
holding?
go look for,
Yeah.
Bigfoot and smoke one up.
It really helps. Look for
Mhm.
Bigfoot and the aliens. It really helps. So Herman says, no, in Indonesia, any kind of drug possession is bad. Possession of pot is a felony, 5 years for 1 stick. And Sam goes, 5 years for 1 brick?
No.
Not a
Stick.
brick,
Oh
a
my God.
joint.
Did he say brick?
He said brick because that's where his mind goes because he's a former drug addict. So
Yeah.
he's like, a
He's going to
brick.
be like bricks of cocaine.
Yeah, brick. And they're like, brick? No, 1 stick, like one cigarette. He's like, oh, 1 joint. Oh, okay. Oh, 5 years. So he's like, oh shit, now I've got to talk to this guy about, the possible jail time and the diversion and everything. We still don't know if dad knows that he was arrested or not. I still can't figure it out.
Yeah. I still can't. Yeah. How much does he know about this?
Yeah, I don't know. So they send the sisters inside and Sam and Citra talk to Herman outside. And it's interesting to me too that Sam keeps talking about how he and Herman are so close. They're so close.
They don't speak
How,
the same language.
how could you be close? You always have to have a translator.
But that's what everyone on 90 Day says. We're so in love. Our souls are entwined. We know everything about each other. You're literally speaking through a little box,
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
and it gets it wrong half the time.
That's right. So Citra says, tell Sam, you're going to have to tell him the truth. We got to go sit down. So Sam tells Herman, I got something to tell you. I want to be honest with you.
But you know what? It's the international language of love. And it is the hugging. When Herman hugs Sam, he's like, I
uh
feel love and acceptance, unlike with my own father. So,
Yes, because he's out here alien chasing.
yeah.
So Sam tells Herman, he wants to be honest with him. He got pulled over. They found old medication that was expired, but he didn't know it was expired because he hadn't seen his doctor. So his friend got arrested for drug possession and Sam got in trouble because his medication was expired and he didn't have the original bottle. Huh? What?
Wow.
He got arrested because he I understand if he had like a loose baggie of pills, but
4 out of 10 of that story made sense.
exactly. So his medication's expired, but he didn't have the original bottle, but he didn't know it was expired,
But he hadn't seen his doctor.
but he hadn't seen his doctor. So basically, he had a baggie of pills, and he's trying to say, like,
Also, why was it expired if he's taking it regularly?
and how does he know if it's expired if it was not in its original packaging?
The pills weren't expired, but the prescription was expired.
Who cares?
Prescriptions last for a long time, unless
you
with Suboxone they maybe keep it a more tight rein. But
okay, but if you're carrying around an old prescription bottle, like if I go out of town tomorrow and pack an old thing of Xanax just because I think I might need it, but it's a
right,
year, it's got my name on it. It
yeah,
does,
you're not
it's
getting
expired.
arrested. It just
No,
loses some of its effectiveness if it's expired.
right. So he
But
keeps,
Suboxone might be different because of the controlled substance element. I don't but when he said his friend got in trouble
yeah, the friend was arrested for like cocaine. Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, they were together.
So he
And
was
this,
with his friend who had cocaine,
yes.
but he is sober in quotes.
I think Sam was also arrested for cocaine. Somebody let us know, but I believe Sam was arrested for the cocaine and the Suboxone, and the friend was arrested for cocaine as well. And maybe his cocaine got dropped. I don't know, but some shit was going down in that car, is what I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
It wasn't a friendly drive around with your buddy.
No.
No.
It was one of those stops on Cops where the people are just not making any sense.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Bunky Allie Arnold, who's an artist and does some of our stuff for us. She's so great. She sent us this weekend this YouTube video of somebody being pulled over. She was like, I've gone into a deep hole with these people getting pulled over. And it was this woman in Florida in a Jeep, and she got pulled over because she didn't have her seatbelt on. And she was like, I get it. I get it. And then the backup car arrived and she jumped out, and they were like, hey, ma'am, you got to get back in your car. You got to get back in your car. And she's like, who are you? And why are you being so mean to me?
Was she wearing pants? Because if it's in Florida, she wasn't wearing pants and she had an alligator in the Jeep with her.
And he was like, do you see my badges? You know who I am. She's like, but he was being nice and I was getting out to talk to him because he was nice. Now you're just being really mean. He's like, ma'am, get in your car.
Don't do drugs, people. It's just don't do drugs.
She's like, I was just going to pick up potato salad because I was going to my friend's barbecue. And then you showed up and are being so mean.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious. Thank you, Allie, for sending that. I didn't get to watch all 29 minutes, but I did watch 8 minutes.
Oh,
and I hope to finish the rest tonight. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, the story makes no sense. 0 sense. So
it never has.
No. And it changes
fishy.
just a little each time.
Exactly. It's been fishy since the beginning. Yeah. And it's different each time he tells it. Mm-hmm.
So Dad's like, what was the medication that he had? So Dad does not know this. Dad, I don't think Dad knows because he's like, what medication did he have? I don't understand.
Okay.
So Sam says, well, I used to be addicted to pain medicine, so I take a new medication now that helps me stay sober and clean. Her translation, it's a painkiller.
That killed me. This is such get an official translator or something. Like this is a very important conversation. And Sam just has no idea what the dad has just been told. So he's smiling like, doesn't that make sense? This is from the doctor to help me with my addiction. And she's just told him that he's on painkillers.
He was arrested with painkillers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Herman says, you know what my job is, right? And Sam says, yeah. And Sam says, Dad has a great poker face. He has no idea what his reaction is because he doesn't give you any idea. And Sam then tells the dad he didn't apply in time. He missed a deadline on paperwork for the diversion program, which was a program to help users. And if he loses the case, he might go to jail 6 months up to a year. Hard to say with a felony. So Herman says, So what about Citra if you're in jail?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. In his talking head, Herman says, I'm very, very upset. And I'm not afraid to call off the wedding and save my daughter. If Sam loses in court and goes to jail, I will take Citra back to Indonesia. Well, the case isn't happening while you're there.
No, but he'll fly back.
Or just put her on a plane. She knows how to go by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she will because the preview for next week makes it sound like she wants to do her own thing.
Yeah. she's had that taste of that. She got that Long Island iced tea, and she
Yeah,
played some of that double
pork
pool
nachos.
pork nachos. It's over. So, so then Dad tells Sam, "If you do illegal drugs, I will never let you marry my daughter. Do you understand?" And Sam says, "I'm only addicted to marrying your daughter and
And making bad decisions.
having a good life with her, even though 2 nights ago we went out and got shit-faced." Yeah. Yeah. So that was really cheesy. "I'm only addicted to marrying your daughter." And then he does tell us it feels very bad, even worse than his own parents disappointing Herman because they are so close and have such a good bond. He's seen him once in his life. That's sad. That's
It's so
sad.
sad. But I think he just thinks his family expects it of him. He's gotten that black sheep label in the family, and that's
Yeah.
hard to shake. And then you feel like a loser. So then you do loser things.
Well, they're already expecting it, so
'Cause
why not
they're
just be a loser?
exactly. And I think that's the dynamic he has going with his family, which is very sad. But he's also earned it by effing up all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
But
dad somehow, despite his tattoos and his mouth, is just like, this is a great guy for my daughter.
you
Until
mean
he
Herman?
Herman, yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know what they think. I mean, I
Do
think
they think Citra's too old to find someone, like, better? How old is she? Is she, like, aged out in where they live? That, like, she's a
Citra is
spinster?
26.
That might be spinster age there.
I doubt it.
I
Maybe.
I mean, to here, it's not at all, but I
No,
don't know what
that's
they're
young.
thinking. Is there something wrong with Citra that we don't know about? Because she seems
Well,
great, so I feel like they should have higher standards for her.
I don't know, and I don't know if they're married either, but I mean, maybe they are because we've seen her post about her sister getting together with, Sam's brother, so
Yeah, maybe the goal is really America. I hate to say that because I don't like to label them, you know.
but, I mean, they live in, like, Bali. They live near Bali. I mean, that's like a destination for
Yeah,
the world.
they did live in a nice place.
Yeah.
They're not poor like some of the other people that we've seen.
No, and he's got a good job, and yeah.
Yeah, he's a policeman.
Yeah, we don't know what her job is. I don't think they ever told us. I mean, if she had one there and what she's gonna do here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Alright. So I'm sure you've heard of microdosing, and if not, just know that all sorts of people are microdosing to feel healthier and perform better. Microdose gummies deliver perfect entry-level doses of THC that help you feel just the right amount of good. I personally have been using them to sleep. I take half of one every night, like 30 minutes before bed. By the time I get in the bed, my brain has calmed down enough that I can just read my book and go to sleep. I don't let that wheel just turn, and then I can't sleep. So the microdose half gummy has helped me tremendously, and I highly recommend it. You can get 30% off your first order plus free shipping. You're going to go to microdose.com. Use the promo code PINKSHADE. It's available nationwide. Microdose.com, promo code PINKSHADE for 30% off and free shipping. Microdose.com, promo code PINKSHADE. Let's move on to Anali and Clayton.
No, thank you.
Yes, we have to.
Oh gosh. So it's 10 days to wed. He's shopping with his mom for outfits for the animals for the wedding.
Of course.
I could have watched a whole episode of this scene. And instead we got 20 seconds of them in the pet store and he's picking out little top hats. And
Yeah.
I think it's for the guinea pigs because then they don't take the dogs. I still don't really understand. But
Yeah.
so they're driving, and the mom says, I don't have a problem with Anna Lee, which is exactly the way you start a sentence when you do have a problem with someone. I don't have a problem with Anna Lee, but she's loud on the phone at night and she leaves the lights on all the time and she cooks all the time and leaves stuff out. And I was like, do you pay rent, bitch? Because if you don't, you have no business saying this. This is his fiance who is living there because he wants her there.
Mm-hmm.
You're living in the
Yep.
closet.
Yep.
So mom is very passive aggressive, he says. And he hates that. And she does the thing like, wow, there's a lot of dishes out.
Uh-huh.
I hate that. Just say it. So she says, I'd feel better if once in a while, like maybe once a week, she cooks something American. Like, where are the cheeseburgers at? I'd teach her how to cook American if she asked me. And she says, I just want to make sure that you're taken care of. And she's not
Mm.
cooking foods that you like. And I want her to cook foods you like. And she only makes chicken and chicken and chicken. And he likes beef. Wow, send Annalie to hell. What a devil woman that she is not cooking the right kind of protein for your baby boy, your precious baby boy Clayton.
Maybe she's trying to get him to drop a few lbs before the wedding.
Yeah,
She's trying to feed him something lean.
worried about his cholesterol.
Also, if he wants a cheeseburger or a steak or something,
Cook one himself.
he could cook one himself, or he
Yeah.
could ask, "Hey, tonight can we cook something different?"
Yeah.
It's not her business.
And then he's like, I just want everyone to get along. And she's like, I don't have a problem with nobody, which is the double negative, and it means you do. And he's like, I just feel like you're making digs. I'm not making digs at anybody. You're exactly making digs. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
And then she says, I mean, all I hear is Spanish. That's a dig.
Yep.
That's a racist dig too.
Yep.
And she says, if I had a place to go tomorrow, I'd go because I think that's what you're trying to do. Kick me out.
I feel that this is where this is headed.
Uh-huh.
Get the fuck
And
out.
he goes, no, I'm not trying to get you to leave. But then he tells us, yeah, I would like it if she had her own place. She is part of the problem. She's very defensive and it's causing a rift in my relationship. And it would be better if she moved out. But he doesn't have the balls to say it, I don't think.
Nope.
So then they're packing up to go to the wedding in Indiana. So they have to like pack suitcases. And she has to pick up that one of the chihuahuas and get him off the bed. And that chihuahua is that devil one that makes that like weird, like the Grudge noises.
It made
like,
it made a real weird noise.
I didn't like it.
Clayton could have told us what that meant since he speaks Chihuahua and guinea pig.
So it is a few days to the wedding and they're fighting. And she's like, you're not helping with anything. I feel like I'm doing everything. And he's like, you're doing nothing. I'm doing actually, my sister's doing everything.
Yeah.
And
she's making lists though. Kimberly. She's making lists. Yeah.
And he wants to pack his Rubik's Cube. She's like, you're not going to have time for your cube. We got a wedding to do. How can you have time to relax? So she's like, have you found an official officiant? And he says, I'm not worried about it because anyone can do it. And I was
this was wild.
What?
He's really sticking with this story too. Anyone can do it. In Indiana, anyone can do it. A wedding guest can do it. Well, guess what? If you've gone to a wedding for some pigs in a blanket and a margarita, you were not planning to also have to be the minister.
And is that true? Can anyone, you don't have to get a certificate or pass a course or go online and register? Is Indiana, let us know, Indiana people. But regardless, Mary Payne's point stands, which is you're halfway drunk. You're not planning to have to make a speech or say anything. You can't just ask someone to be an officiant on the fly and say something beautiful about love is defined by Webster's dictionary, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to plan for that.
Yeah.
So he hasn't found her a makeup or hair person either, because he's waiting for Brandy's advice, which means he's waiting for Brandy to do it.
Yep.
And then he says, I didn't think that I should have to do everything. And I thought she'd help, but then she'd have to speak English to people on the phone and she can't call people. And she says, I could text people using a translator, but I don't know who we're missing and what we need to do because there's no list. So Mom is outside going, they're fighting again in Spanish.
She's like doing that thing where she's like turning the water on and then turning it off, like so she can listen. Yeah.
And they're in Spanish. And when she gets mad, she talks faster. Like, and then she's like, this is so diggy and like, and so she goes, this is not normal, all this fighting. And I was like, actually, this is totally normal for planning a wedding, I think. We've seen some couples on 90 Day where it's like, I think they shouldn't get married. I think one of them's going to murder the other one on the wedding day. But this seems like normal wedding jitters
Yes.
and fighting about all
Yeah.
the planning.
Yeah.
And so he has to pack his EpiPens. And I was like, of course. I've never been less surprised that someone needed EpiPens. And
But
I
what's he
don't mean
allergic
that.
to? What's he
I think
allergic to?
everything. I don't know.
Oh,
Animals maybe, but like he loves them. He can't stop. Like the dander. I don't know, but
maybe. Yeah, it could
he's
be.
so
Could
in
be.
love with them. So he goes into the living room and he says, I'm frustrated to the mom. I'm frustrated that Annalie's not helping and can't speak English. And the mom just says, I think she has no desire to learn English. I said what I said. I can't take it back. I said it already.
You know the famous like Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. I said what I said.
There we go.
Yeah.
And so Annalie is listening. She can hear them in the bedroom and she understands English more than she can speak it.
Yeah.
And she knows they're talking about her. And so she has the guts to walk in and just go, good morning. Like, hi, I'm here. I hear you. I
Mm-hmm.
loved that. And she's like, I understand that you're talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I could help with the wedding if there was a list and I knew what we needed. And he just goes, it's not my fault. None of it. It's not my fault.
None of it.
And then he says, she's good at gaslighting. And I wrote, I don't think Clayton knows what gaslighting is.
No, but Sophie and her mom do.
They totally know it. They had the
Yeah.
definition perfectly.
Yes.
He has no clue. Annalie has not gaslit him once.
No.
Maybe
Mm-mm.
about the not telling the dad thing, but not about this wedding thing.
No.
So
We didn't even hear the fallout from that, by the way.
oh yeah, did the dad find out? Did the dad see on Instagram? Is it a shady shadow account that no one follows her on? It was probably a Finsta account, and that's
Yeah.
what she was doing.
Yeah. But also, like, her dad doesn't have Instagram.
No.
So, yeah.
So they pack up the car, but she has like sisters and stuff, right? So
I don't know.
they pack up the car to drive to Indiana, and he's packing up the guinea pigs, and she didn't know they were coming. And I feel like that should have been discussed earlier, that the guinea pigs were coming with them out of town. And the
Mhm.
mom's not coming yet. The mom's coming later. So the mom is staying and watching the dogs. I don't know who's watching the dogs once the mom goes, or if she's bringing the dogs. I'm more concerned about the animals here.
She's got to be bringing the dogs, but what's she going to do all alone in that apartment? It's just going to be hoarder party times 3.
She's going to break out of that closet.
She is going to sleep in the bed.
Breathe the living room air. Cook American food in the kitchen.
That's right. No Spanish.
All the time.
Spanish being spoken.
She sees an El Pollo Loco commercial. She's crashing that TV. Not a word of Spanish will be spoken. So Annalie is super pissed in the car, and she's like, because she heard them talking about her, and he's like, can you check on the guinea pigs in the back? And she does this sigh that is like, I hate this man.
Yeah.
I hate this man. I hate these guinea pigs. I hate my life. Why am I doing this? So they go and they're staying at a rental house that has an indoor pool and is styled from the 80s.
80s, yeah.
But they see a closet and he's like, oh, a closet for my mom. And he makes a joke.
Like, yeah, she thought that was funny though, so that was
funny.
Good. Yeah.
And then Brandy comes over and she's already pissed because she's been working her ass off for the wedding. And she goes, okay, I have a list of things that I've done for the wedding. I want to know what you've done. Let's compare. We're going to count up who's done the most. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it's your wedding. First of all, you asked me to find an alpaca or a llama. I thought that was ridiculous and I didn't do it. I tried though.
And then he's like, alpaca, no.
Yeah, to Annalie, alpaca, no. Also, I think Brandy would have tried harder if she knew it was for Annalie's culture. Like, I think she thinks they were just making a weird, ridiculous request. It is important.
I think she did know, and she didn't try that hard, is what I think.
Yeah. So she said, did you find an officiant? Anyone in Indiana can be an officiant. So I'm just going to ask someone at the wedding to do it. And Brandy is like, I hate my brother. If he asks me at the wedding to be the officiant, I will hide or pretend I have diarrhea, which is always a good plan. I've done it many times. So she's like, so basically, I'm doing everything. Everyone else gets to attend this wedding and have fun. And he goes, well, we get to, because it's our wedding. So we get to enjoy it. And I was like, that's not how weddings work. You do
No.
get to enjoy it, but you have to do all the work before it.
Yep. And
They just
also,
think,
you don't really enjoy it,
and you,
actually.
because you're so busy, like, making sure everyone else is having fun, and did
Yeah.
I say hi to this cousin, and did
Yep.
I so he just thinks it's like a surprise party. Like, everyone else does the work and you just show up and have fun.
Surprise party.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know about it. You don't have to know any of the details. You just show up. Like,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. And Brandy says, F you, Clayton. And Annalie goes, yes, F Clayton. I agree. They both just hate Clayton at this point.
She was like, that word I know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then Annalie says, did she plan my bachelorette party? Because she doesn't read the room and know that Brandy is already pissed about planning the wedding. So she's like, did she plan my entire bachelorette party? And Brandy says, I thought we could just have people over and make a fire outside and watch movies. And Annalie's like, oh, okay. Like, very disappointed.
Yeah.
But Brandy has more planned.
She
So
sure does.
she's actually trying for the bachelorette party. And I think that that's very sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Do
I'm
they have a
excited.
translator there? Do one of the friends also speak Spanish? Because
Right.
they're gonna have
She's not gonna know what's going on.
wow.
But a male stripper is universal. So, and we see it in the preview.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My note on that is pink swinging cocksock.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't.
That is
Don't.
swinging so hard it's gonna come up and hit him in the face.
I mean, I don't know how that thing's staying attached. I
Yeah.
don't want to know.
No.
All right. So Jasmine and Gino, it's 46 days to wed. She's chopping veggies in the kitchen, and he seems annoyed. She's like, why are you in such a bad mood? He goes, well, I'm not in a bad mood because 2 days ago you told me this information about Dane, and so now the cameras are here, so I'm bringing it up. And Jasmine goes, listen, the thing about Dan is he is charitable. He gives money to charity all the time. For to him, give me this money is like charity, just out of friendship. We have friendship, so he just gave it to me for like charity.
Like, someone might give to homeless people or children with special needs, or a woman who lost weight and her butt is too small now. Just like normal charity work, City of Hope and Brazilian butt lifts.
That's right. That's right. And Gina goes, I don't like it. Or why are you still talking to him? And you got to stop talking to him. And she goes, we're just friends, and you're not allowed to bring up anything about exes because remember what your ex did. Remember what happened when you contact your ex. And then we get the scenes of everything that happened. That was my privacy. When she knocked the hat off the head and she threw the toothbrush, she went back out and got it. And she ran around that resort in her thong for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, but wow, her face looked better then. Sorry.
It really did. Mm-hmm.
She hadn't had that work done.
Yeah,
Wow.
much more natural.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said better. I'll just say different.
Different.
So we get all the scenes from that. And we're reminded that his ex sent her nude photos to her job and got her fired, which that is pretty bad. Now, how they can fire you over that, I don't know, but they can.
Yeah, they weren't public photos, but yes, still, I think that happens.
I guess it does.
And it's like revenge porn. It's that.
Totally. And maybe they don't have a law against it in Panama. So Gino says, so did you do anything to provoke that? Or did she just attack you out of the blue there? And she goes,
what the heck?
And she goes, what did you fucking say to me? And she says, this woman was making fun of my physical appearance and laughing at my tits. And are you really asking me if I provoked her after all the drama I went through, all the emotional humiliation I went through, and the whole fucking world knew? And she sent my naked pictures to every blogger, and all these people were looking at me naked, and you are asking if I provoked her? She's got that knife in her hand.
He has all the proper equipment, the kitchen stuff.
It is stocked properly.
I wish I were allowed to diagnose Gino, because I can't understand why he would say that now. That is the wrongest thing to say in that moment.
I think there's a story there, and I think Jasmine did provoke this woman, and then the woman went revenge porn on her. That's what I think happened.
But Jasmine doesn't want that narrative to be pushed, because we were never told that on the show.
No. So he goes, like the initial goddamn conversation. Did she say something to attack you, or did you provoke her? stop yelling. And she says, oh my God, boom, puts the knife down and says, I wish I would have fucked Dan that night. That is my only regret in this whole life. I should have fucked him as we used to fuck, so good, with something. I think she says with cock. I don't know what she says. She says with something. And then he, like I said, Gino is a 4-year-old on the playground. He has no insults. He only throws back exactly what you say at him. So he goes,
Mhm.
oh, yeah? Well, I wish I could have fucked my ex too. Yeah, they
This is
were
just part
good.
2 of that conversation they had before.
It's just, and he's like, yeah, they were much better than you. I mean, so she says it, he says
Yeah.
the exact same
I'm
insult back.
rubber, you're glue.
Yeah, I'm
Also,
going
these poor neighbors. I hope the walls are thick in this townhouse because they had a beautiful respite when they were in
I
Miami,
know,
and now they're back.
I know, I know. But they were talking about eating ass in the elevator lobby, so that's not great.
No, that's true.
So she's walking up the stairs. She's like, you are trash. I am not going to get married to this fucking idiot, which is her favorite insult.
Yep.
So she's
He
upstairs and
is a fucking idiot, though, to be fair, most of the time.
he is. He is. So she's upstairs and she was going, I don't want to marry him. I don't want to step into this kind of marriage. And this was the biggest humiliation of my life. And this idiot has the nerve to say, I provoked her. And then she yells at him, you know the story and you know what she did to me. So he's realizing the error of his ways.
Uh-huh.
So Gino says in the kitchen, normally she's okay. You just got to get her time to chill out. So come here, Coco. Hey, Coco. So he plays with Coco.
Do you want to live like this, though? Where someone is like, you
No,
maybe would murder you with a kitchen knife and you just have to wait it out and then
wait it
they
out.
make up and then you have great sex and then you fight it again. It's like Ashley and Manuel. Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand this stress.
I can't either, and it's like, any little thing is gonna set her off, and then in this particular case, he was trying to, like, assert his point, like,
Yeah.
"You can't talk to Dan anymore," but then she's like, "Let's don't talk about exes."
Uh-huh.
She's been holding that card for a while.
Yeah.
Like, if he's gonna say, "I can't talk to Dan anymore,"
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna say, "What about what your ex did?"
Mm-hmm.
So, her ex is only donating to BBL charities,
Right.
and his ex is sending revenge porn.
Yeah.
So 30 minutes later, he goes and checks on her in the bathroom, and he says, now he never says he's sorry for what he said or what he did. He's very careful. He said, I'm sorry if I upset you.
Mm.
I didn't mean to upset you. He says, I know you went through something terrible and it's a sensitive subject and I know it still hurts. And she goes, that's right. And she says, well, I am sorry that I went to the goodbye dinner with Dan. And I am sorry that I took the money because I knew it was wrong and it hurt you.
She is taking much more accountability in this season.
Yes, she is. So
She's
that one therapy session worked.
It
Yeah.
did. She's made a lot of promises to change and she appears to be working on it, but she sees red when she gets into that zone
Yeah.
and it's scary.
And it just immediately goes to, you're terrible in bed. My other
Mhm.
exes fuck better than
Yes.
you. You're so ugly. You can't get it up. I mean, immediately
Yeah.
goes to like the lowest.
Uh-huh.
So Gino says, the fact that you still talk to Dane really hurts me. And I want you to end that relationship. And then she says, he's been a good friend, but I know that's the right thing to do because I don't want you talking to your exes. And then she says, Gino comes before anybody else. So she's going to leave a voice message for Dane. So Gino, I was thinking he would like walk out of the bathroom and be like, go ahead now. Let's
No,
see you hit that send button.
Yeah.
So she basically says like, you're a wonderful friend. You've been so wonderful to me. I wish you the best and have a good life. And thanks for the $2,000 for my ass.
Yeah.
You're never getting it
I
back.
thought she was going to be like, we had wonderful sex, but
I bring it up often.
yeah, I use it in all of my fights to get back
Yeah.
at Gino. So thank you for that.
So in the talking head, they're sitting together and Jasmine says, babe, it's time for us to act like adults and put our exes behind us. Our exes, they are dead to us. And she looks at him. She goes, they died. And he goes, oh, yes, they died. Yes. And then as
This
they're
is
walking,
a Dateline. They might actually die.
did you notice as they're walking out of the bathroom, he goes, okay, baby talk. And she goes, no, later. You don't deserve it.
Yeah, it's so weird. I swear to God, he wears a diaper in bed. He wears an adult diaper and she changes him. I
because
just know it in my gut.
she's always like, "Oh, my little Gino, do, 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 boo, boo, boo."
She
And he
bottle
loves
feeds
it,
him, or
loves
maybe
it.
worse. I've seen
Worse.
True Story, I'm an adult baby. True Life, MTV's True Life, I'm an adult baby, and that's what this is.
It's fucked up. Okay. We're gonna finish with Manuel and Ashley, who've taken a ride to the Niagara Falls.
Oh my god. Speaking of an exhausting couple.
Yeah.
So she we learned charges $4,000 for her healing whatever session, like
Yeah.
courses, whatever, and
Mhm.
with a payment plan.
Payment plan.
The woman who
Yeah.
had sex in the Fuego Cafe bathroom, and I know they wish I would stop mentioning it by name, but I can't help it,
Yeah.
charges over $4,000 to teach you how to center yourself or whatever.
I wonder how much Danielle charges for one of those yoga retreats.
Great point. Also,
Yeah.
someone I wouldn't take advice from.
Same.
Everyone on this show who says they are light, love, crystals, energy are agents of chaos.
Yes. Yes.
So she surprises Manuel with a trip to Niagara Falls because he's always wanted to go. And it's actually very cute. Like, he's giddy. He's so excited. He's like a little kid. He wants to kiss her feet. And I was like, save that for the Fuego Cafe bathroom. You are at Niagara Falls, and that's a family establishment. So he also thinks Niagara Falls is one of the seven wonders of the world, but it's not. So, but that's okay.
I believed it. I
I
believed it.
believed it. I gave it a goog.
You
And
did.
I binged it, and it is controversial because most people think it should be, but it's not. So
Okay. Gotcha.
he's manifesting,
He's a conspiracy theorist.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that it actually
Gotcha.
should be. Yeah. So he is so happy, and she chooses this moment to ask if he can adapt to life in her culture and stop fighting. And I
Yeah.
was like, just have one day. That's nice.
Yeah.
And he says, I can accept living here, but I can't accept the spending part of this culture.
Mhm.
And she says, I have to spend because you didn't come with here with any money. You didn't save any money before you got here. And he says, the money is in the US. Why would I bring money to the US? Which is an interesting logic, especially because he knew he wouldn't be able to work until he got his visa for
Yeah.
like a year or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Mhm.
up to it, like, it could be months or a year. So that's why you bring money. So then she says he's having a bitch fit. And then I was like, she started it because she's brought up that topic that
Yeah.
is always a trigger topic.
Yep.
And she keeps telling him to breathe. And I was like, is that what the 4,000 gets you? Her just telling you to breathe?
Yeah.
Because I
Were you
know how
were
to
you
do that.
afraid they were gonna, like, go in a porta potty? I was.
Yes,
I was. I really
absolutely.
was. Yeah.
So she thinks they're going through this is her logic. She thinks they're going through the hard parts of the relationship at the beginning, and
Right.
they're getting all the fighting out of their system, and their marriage will be smooth sailing,
Mhm.
which is not how it works at all.
Nope.
And that's what $4,000 gets you. So she keeps saying we're just fighting over money and it's such a stupid thing to fight over. And I was like, again, you're charging $4,000 and you don't know that money is one of the top causes of divorce.
Yep.
That it's a very important topic that you have to talk about. So they make up, and then she is like, I will always have you be by your side. And he says, I will go to the moon with you or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, we're just very different. We speak different languages and we come from different cultures. That's the second time he said that. And I'd like to remind him that she speaks great Spanish. So again,
Yeah, yeah.
they do speak the same language.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that. So they put on their ponchos and go on the boat to go to the falls, and they're kissing. And I was like, they're going to do it in the boat bathroom.
I was very concerned because they were getting a little frisky there, and I was like, "Uh-oh, it's gonna be poncho sex."
They're going to like lift up their ponchos and have sex with all of these families around, like
Yes.
under the ponchos.
Yes, I was concerned the rainbow was really getting her going.
This rainbow, I was sure, first of all, I was just waiting, like, she's gonna say this is a sign that we're meant to be, like, I can't with that. I know it means a lot to people, but, like, why do you think it's meant for you and not for anyone else on the boat? Like, what is it a sign for everyone else on the boat, you know?
I gotcha.
Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
I
And then
do.
and then she's like, the water is just washing away all of our problems. You guys had a huge fight at the beach. You were frolicking like Madonna in the Cherish video at the beach, and then you started fighting. You
Right.
just had a huge fight in Niagara Falls. The
Right.
water washes away, but then it comes right back. Yeah, it's like the Red Sea. It's like parting and then it's drowning you. So,
She said the Maid of the Mist is magical.
oh my God, I can't.
Mhm.
$4,000. And then she says, it's the water, it's the rainbows, we're Cancer rising, so the water cleanses us.
Sure.
Sure.
Whatever that means. Yep.
And
Yep.
then he says, we even got a rainbow. It's so lucky for us. This is meant to be. We're going to fight for this relationship. And they're just so caught up in the water and it's, they're
Mhm.
just
I'm just
too,
shaking my head. I'm just shaking my head
like,
because I'm like,
they're just too much. They're too like emotional and not at all logical or rational. It drives me insane. They're just so caught up in this moment. Like,
well, the
it's
fact that he
we're gonna run
admitted,
off and we're gonna get married and it's gonna be beautiful and then we're gonna fight and we're gonna F and it's just gonna be magical and it's like, oh, it's
well, I mean,
exhausting.
the fact that he admitted that he tries to get her mad
Yeah.
so that then they can F. I'm like, she would F you anyway. Don't try to get her mad. How about make her happy and see if she'll F you?
Yeah.
It's too much
Toxic.
toxic.
Or maybe it works for some people, but just for me, my personality, it sounds so tiring.
Okay, I have a question for you. Did you watch now that oh well, let's do next week on and then I'll ask you. I'll ask you a did you watch question. Okay, next week on. Looks like Manuel and Ashley have a joint bachelorette party and he's smacking her ass on a boat, having a great time, but he feels very conflicted because he's having fun, but his family's not there. And he cries and says he wishes his kids were there. And she's like, "Who? I don't know them because they don't know me." So,
Because I've asked to be introduced to them and you
yeah,
have not.
right. Nikki and Justin are having an engagement party, and he says, all my friends can see what I see now. She's so gorgeous, and her dress is incredible, and she does look great. I mean, she comes out and she does look like
Oh, stunning. She looks like a
stunning,
movie star.
a movie star.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then one of the friend that she asked about the going down at the bar, that friend goes, Nikki, you promised us a performance. You promised a live performance. And she goes, oh, stop. Where's the microphone? And she sings. I don't know what she was singing, but oh Lord.
This was
Oh,
one of those housewives songs, like
yeah.
Tardy for the Party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it was not
Yeah. It
it
wasn't good,
wasn't
but
good.
and
But
people are
he's
looking
watching
around like, "Oh my god."
his mom is like slurping her drink like just I can't believe my son is marrying this. Does he think this is good singing? And
Yeah.
he's just watching with like rose-colored glasses. Like she's amazing.
Yeah. Um, Sophie tells her mom she's bisexual, and mom's like, "I'm sad you never told me about this before. Why wouldn't you ever tell me? And you've never even had a relationship with a girl, so I think you need to have a relationship with a girl so you know what you really want." So, wedding's off. See you later. Let's go back to England.
Please let that happen.
Yes. Sam is picking out a wedding ring with his mom, who he hates and hates him. It's a perfect person to pick out a wedding ring with. And he asked his mom if she will come to his conversion ceremony. And she says, I don't think anybody should have to convert to get married.
And they
And
don't use toilet paper and
now
they
there's
celebrate Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah. And I heard they eat guinea pig. So, so he's like, God, I wish my mom would just put it aside for just 1 hour, you know? And Herman tells Citra, Sam has problems, and I'm concerned about your future. If I say don't marry, will you listen? And she says it's very important for her to stand up to her dad at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can't take her back physically against her will. She's a grown
No,
woman, you know?
she is a grown up.
Clayton lays down the rules for the bachelorette party. Number one, no hombres. Number two, no strippers. And then she says, who is prohibiting this? And he says, me, I'm the boss. And she just laughs and laughs.
He has
And
no hand in this relationship. He never has. He never will.
nope.
Unless
And
he cries. He can do that cry move that like George Costanza. He can
yeah,
do
but
it once in a while.
it's going to be like once a year.
Yeah.
And she says, "This is my first time going out without Clayton, and I'm so ready to party." Uh, and a stripper arrives, and she goes, "It might be a problem for Clayton, but I'm just gonna enjoy it." And then, what the fuck with the hot pink cocksock? It's swinging. It's just
Oh my
swinging
god. It's gonna
around.
take someone's eye out.
It's so gross. Okay, two things I was going to ask you. Did you watch the documentary American Nightmare?
No, but, I've seen the Dateline on that case.
Okay, the documentary is great.
I've heard that, yeah.
10 out
I
of
did
10.
watch a few minutes of it, actually.
Really good.
Yeah.
And have you watched Fargo season 5?
I have, but I'm behind.
So you're not to the end.
I was watching it at my parents' house with them, so I was sort of saving it. So I am actually quite a few episodes behind.
Okay, well, I've watched the whole thing. I watched it in 2 days.
Yeah, it's good.
So, when it snows, that's what I did,
It's a
stay in the
great
house
season.
and avoided all the work I needed to do 'cause I couldn't stop watching, and
Have you
that's
seen
the
other seasons? It's a
No.
great show. You should go back to the first season. It's so good, and the cast is always wonderful.
Yeah, somebody said, like, all the seasons are good, but this is by far the best one.
Yeah, I would say all the seasons are good, except I would say the Chris Rock season, which was, I think, last season, was not my favorite.
Have you started the new season of True Detective with Jodie Foster?
No, not yet.
I need to do that too.
Starts tonight.
And then you guys just put out a Patreon that I was very excited about. What was it?
Traders.
Traders.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
We covered last season, and people wanted us to do this season, so we're a week behind. But we covered all 4 of the first episodes with our friend Kim from People Are Wild.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really good.
Okay. I can't wait to listen to that. I'm going to be on the train tomorrow. I'm going to listen to that because I'm also caught up on Traders. So,
Okay, good.
and now they're dripping it out one at a time, and that's hard for me.
I know.
But also, it's good because then
It
you
makes
don't
it
do.
fun for a competition show, though. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you don't sit at home for 2 solid
it's
days.
how
And
we used to watch.
yes,
Remember the good old days? And
yes,
it was, yeah,
you have to
no
sit in front of your
binging.
television.
You
Yeah,
never felt like you were behind the rest of the world, you know?
right. If you missed an episode, though, you missed it. Like
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
true.
Yeah, that was it. You didn't wait till the
Well, I
summer.
had a VCR and I taped a lot of things.
I'm talking about before VCR times.
Okay.
VCR times came around when I was in high school,
Yeah, yeah.
and I taught myself with that 12-page manual
But
how
it
to
was
work
still
it.
flashing 12:00.
Mom, you have to press the button. It has to be on channel 3. Oh my god. Oh my
Yep.
god. Okay, I just wanted to ask you about those things. Well, if you get a chance to watch American Nightmare or finish Fargo, we can discuss next week.
Yeah. Now, True Detective, Katie said she thought that this season incorporates a lot of the other seasons, which I am not as familiar with. Like, I saw the first season with
Me
Matthew
too.
McConaughey,
Uh-huh.
but then I feel like I definitely missed a season or two. So, if it's like one of those shows where there's a lot of callbacks and important symbol things, and like, I'm going to be confused, or I'm just
Well,
not going to get as deep. I'm not going to understand like the depths. I might get the main surface story.
I saw the season that had Colin Farrell in it,
I didn't. I don't think.
but I have no idea what that was, what happened, or even if that's true. Was Colin
Right.
Farrell in it? Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell? Did I make that
Oh
up?
yeah. No, I think that sounds right.
And then I think the last season was with, I'm going to say it wrong. It was like Marshala Ali, that actor.
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
I think that's who was on last season, but I didn't watch it. I can't
Hmm.
remember, and I can't remember who the co-detective was now.
Yeah. I don't think
So,
I had HBO for a long time.
um, so okay, guys, if you're watching True Detective, that's another thing you need to let us know. Can we watch this season and not be caught up? Because otherwise, we're gonna have to.
And also, let us know if you think it was okay for Gino and Jasmine to both cut off their exes. Is that part of a normal, healthy relationship? I'm very curious.
Uh, yeah, because she brings up Dan every time she can to say she
Right.
wishes she would have fucked him.
Right. But
If
let's
she
say
just,
they were
if
a
she,
different couple.
yeah, I'm just saying if she just would have literally been like, he's my friend. I haven't had anything with him for years. We're literally just friends,
Right.
and didn't bring him up and throw Dan in his face all the time, then
Then
sure,
it
she
might be
should be able to be friends with him. They don't live in the same country. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what Gino's ex did, no, he can't be friends with
No,
her.
no, she should be cut off forever.
Yeah. But I mean, regular people, if you have boundaries and stuff, then yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Okay, I agree. Thank you.
within reason. I mean,
Yes.
unless there's something really heavy went down, then you have to be like, no.
Yeah, I understand.
Just depends.
So it's a case by case
It's a
situation.
case by case basis.
Yeah, I
Kimberly.
understand.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure that you listen to Katie and Kimberly's podcast, A Date with Dateline. I listened to this past week because you did Ghost Don't Talk, but I don't know what one you're doing this week, and I don't know if I got to watch Dateline this weekend.
It's called Family Affair, and it's about the Markel Adelson, the grandma who was arrested at the airport, and the dentist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Okay,
it's our
good.
second time covering this case, but there's a lot of new stuff that happened recently, so we're excited.
Yes, I just was. Okay, yes. Okay. All right. Okay, great. Well, now I got to watch that so I can catch up with that. I literally have a list here. I now have 12 things on my list. The things that I have to watch or listen to.
I know.
I've been making a list the whole time.
Full-time job.
It is a full-time job. All right, everybody. Follow Kimberly and Katie over at Dateline on Instagram. And please follow me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. I really appreciate it. I'm still in the 8,700s, but
I was just going to look.
It's inching up. It's inching up. Day by day, one by one. It's inching up.
Yeah, 8751.
Okay. I think it was 8739 last time I looked. So that's pretty good.
I'm going to get my dad to follow you. He's on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. I'd appreciate that.
That'll be just one more.
That's all I need. Just one at a time. All right. Thank you, Kimberly. I will talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.